The story is told that a young fella growing up on the farm away from the major cities wanted desperately to move into the high drama of the city life. He no longer wanted to stay on the farm, work with his parents, develop the fields. He wanted to go to the city. At the end of the harvest, mother and father came to him, said, "Son, you didn't have a good year. The crops didn't do well. We don't have much. Here is the last of our money. We want you to go to town and buy those necessary supplies that'll see us through the winter." That boy took his parents' money, went into the town. It just so happened that the train depot was directly across from the general store. The train had pulled in, was ready to leave. And that young lad reasoned in his mind, if I don't get on this train today, I'll never get out of this city, this town. I'll never see the bright lights. So he looked at the list and the money, looked at the train, and heard the conductor yell, "All aboard." He ran and jumped on the train. And in his mind he said, when I get to the city and I'll get my big job, I'll send mama and daddy some money and they'll be all right. Well, some months went by. Yeah, even some years went by. That boy fell on hard times. And in the midst of his hard times, he sat down and wrote a letter to his mother and father. And in that letter he said, "Mama, Daddy, I'm sorry. I did you wrong. I stole the money. I never sent you anything. I've had a hard life. I'm sorry. If you'll forgive me, you'd be so kind to let me come home. I'll be on the noon train that passes our farm day after tomorrow. And if it's all right, if you forgive me, and I can come home, ask Daddy to take a handkerchief and go out to the old treehouse where I used to play. It's the only tree near the railroad tracks where the noon train will pass. And ask Daddy to put that handkerchief out there on the treehouse where I used to play. And if I see the handkerchief, I'll know that it's all right for me to get off the train and to come on home. But if I don't see the handkerchief, it'll be all right. I'll stay on the train. Won't bother you no more." Well, day after tomorrow came. That boy was on that noon train that passed right by his farm. He was so afraid to look that he told an old man sitting across from him his whole story. He said, "We're nearing the bend now, and I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid the handkerchief won't be there. Will you look for me? And if you see the handkerchief, nudge me, tell me, and I'll get off the train and go home. But if you don't see the handkerchief, don't say a word. We'll keep on riding through the day." Well, they neared the bend that went right by his farm. And the old man shouted from the top of his voice, "Look, boy, look! You got to see this for yourself." That boy opened his eyes. And in that treehouse where he used to play, there was a white handkerchief. But wait, next to the handkerchief, there was a white tie. And next to the white tie, there was a white tablecloth. And next to the white tablecloth, there was a white sheet. And the whole tree had been painted white from the top to the bottom. That boy jumped off that train, ran home, his feet never touched the ground, fell into his mother and father's arms, kissed them on their neck, crying, tears flowing down his face. He said, "Daddy, why did you put all that white out there on the tree? All I asked you to do was to put a handkerchief there." Daddy said, "Son, your mother and I knew. But that noon train would be traveling fast. And we were worried that it would be traveling so fast that you wouldn't see the handkerchief. And so we wanted you to know that it was all right. You've been forgiven a long time ago. We wanted you to be sure that you could come on home. Well, my beloved, I'm so glad to report that a long time ago, your father, my father, hung out the handkerchief out there on Calvary's cross and said, it's all right. You've already been forgiven. Though your sins be as scarlet, come on home. I'll wash them whiter than snow. Jesus paid it all.